here I am, out on the streets with my head in my hands. I've got no plans, only to see you again. Don't get me wrong, sometimes I like being kicked on the ground. I'm not that strong, but then I come to my senses. Yeah, I'm coming. You can feel my power, and I feel what is real when she feels me. And I feel what is real when she feels me. And I feel don't be afraid. Don't do that man with the scar on his face. It's a charade. It's just the way you've been living. Yeah! I'm coming. You can feel my power. And I feel what is real when she feels it. And I feel what is real when she feels me. Yeah. And I feel what is real when she feels me. And I feel what is real when she feels me. Yeah. And I feel what is real when she feels me. And I feel what is real when she feels me. Yeah. And I feel
Hi everyone, Dan here, and I just wanted to put a little snippet about AstroWorld and what we do because I want to start getting the word out because I think it's becoming more and more of a giant community, and I want to get the word out to some other people. So what we do at AstroWorld is We hold astrophotography chats on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. and Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we just talk astrophotography. Wednesday's more of a techie kind of advanced intermediate, and Fridays is more of a newbie kind of thing. So if you want to check us out, and if you want to, hang out with some semi-decent people that like to go off the rails a little bit and have fun while they're doing it, come check us out at AstroWorldWeb.com, and you can check out the schedule, and you can sign up for all the free giveaways that we do. We just gave away an Eagle 4 Pro, an Optilong filter kit, Charles Brackenstein's books, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So come to AstroWorldWeb.com, hang out with us, have a good time, and as always, remember to keep imaging, keep educating, and clear skies. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Where did my color go? Got your head in the sand. You can't be in control, using a powerful hand. I wanna be you, I wanna see you. Don't taste the kisses of hate. Don't try to tell me, don't try to sell me, don't try to say it's too late. You're gonna push me to the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shoes. Push me to the edge, hide a little color, it's black and white and blue. Black and white and blue, yeah. All right. Cat learns to ring a bell. Rat gets free from the maze. We can be taught to love. We've got to learn to wait. I wanna see you, I wanna be you. Don't taste the kisses of hate. Don't try to tell me, don't try to sell me, don't try to say it's too late. You're gonna push me to the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shadows. Push me to the edge, add a little color, it's black and white and blue. Black and white and blue, yeah. I wanna be, I wanna see, don't taste the kisses of hate. Don't try to tell me, don't try to sell me, don't try to say it's too late. Push me to the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shadows. Push me to the edge, hide a little color, it's black and white and blue. Yeah, black and white and blue. You're going black and white on the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shadows. Push me to the edge, hide a little color, it's black and white. on my telescope now. Damn, what's wrong with this thing?
Another lost Lone Ranger. Can I break this spell? One thing right, who I make two things wrong. If I want to stand by the line, who I will always take the fall. If I just do the left, I can live from the right. I sleep all day long, then I'm dreaming through the night. I've seen a lot of bankers, and I've seen a lot of cops. I've seen a lot of lawyers pull out all the stops. I've seen a lot of children with their parents in their hands. I felt a lot of women refuse to understand. Well, I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. here I am, out on the streets with my head in my hands. I've got no plans, only to see you again. Don't get me wrong, sometimes I like being kicked on the ground. I'm not that strong, but then I come to my senses. Yeah, I'm coming. You can feel my power, and I feel what is real when she feels me. And I feel what is real when she feels me. And I feel don't be afraid. Don't do that man with the scar on his face. It's a charade. It's just the way you've been living. Yeah, I'm coming. You can feel my power, and I feel what is real when she feels me. And I feel what is real when she feels me. Yeah. And I And I feel what is real when she feels me. And I feel what is real when she feels me. Yeah. And I feel. And I feel what is real when she feels me. And I feel what is real when she feels me. Yeah. And I feel.
Hi everyone, Dan here, and I just wanted to put a little snippet about AstroWorld and what we do because I want to start getting the word out because I think it's becoming more and more of a giant community, and I want to get the word out to some other people. So what we do at AstroWorld is We hold astrophotography chats on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. and Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we just talk astrophotography. Wednesday's more of a techie kind of advanced intermediate, and Fridays is more of a newbie kind of thing. So if you want to check us out, and if you want to, hang out with some semi-decent people that like to go off the rails a little bit and have fun while they're doing it, come check us out at AstroWorldWeb.com. And you can check out the schedule, and you can sign up for all the free giveaways that we do. We just gave away an Eagle 4 Pro, an Optilong filter kit, Charles Brackenstein's books, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So come to AstroWorldWeb.com, hang out with us, have a good time, and as always, remember to keep imaging, keep educating, and clear skies. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Where did my color go? Got your head in the sand. You can't be in control, using a powerful hand. I wanna be ya, I wanna see ya. Don't taste the kisses of hate. Don't try to tell me, don't try to sell me. Don't try to say it's too late. You're gonna push me to the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shoes. Push me to the edge, hide a little color, it's black and white and blue. Black and white and blue, yeah. All right. Cat learns to ring a bell. Rat gets free from the maze. We can be taught to love. We've got to learn a new way. I wanna see you, I wanna be you. Don't taste the kisses of hate. Don't try to tell me, don't try to sell me. Don't try to say it's too late. You're gonna push me to the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shadows. Push me to the edge, add a little color, it's black and white and blue. Black and white and blue, yeah. I wanna be, I wanna see, don't taste the kisses of hate. Don't try to tell me, don't try to sell me, don't try to say it's too late. Push me to the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shoes. Push me to the edge, add a little color, it's black and white and blue. Yeah, black and white and blue. You're going black and white on the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shoes. Push me to the edge, add a little color, it's black and white and blue. Black and white and blue. on my telescope now. Get what's wrong with this thing.
Another lost Lone Ranger. Can I break this spell? One thing right, I make two things wrong. If I want that fine line, I'll always take the ball. If I just left, watch it leave from the right. I sleep all day long, and I'm breathing through the night. I've seen a lot of bankers, and I've seen a lot of cops. I've seen a lot of lawyers pull out all the stops. I've seen a lot of children with their parents in their hands. I've felt a lot of women who refuse to understand. Well, I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take the world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. You see it in the papers, you read it every day. The riots and the fires going on in South LA. The muggers and the government, they're all wanting the same thing. They take you for your money and whatever else bring. Well, I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. Take me. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. 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 Guitar Players Planet.
Are you ready for the next solar eclipse? October, annular eclipse. Up. Don't let your glasses fall off when there's a solar eclipse. You might hurt yourself. Let's try that again. Are you ready for the next solar eclipse? Are you ready for it? October 14th this year is an annular eclipse, followed by April, another total solar eclipse, and you can get your own branded AstroWorld telescope solar glasses made by American Paper Optics today on the website, astroworldtelescopes.com, or give me a call, 516-273-3771, and we can get you a set of 4 of these for $9.99. Come on down again, AstroWorldTelescopes.com, and keep imaging as long as you don't have a solar shade on. Keep educating in clear skies, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Sunny skies, the smell of palm tree air. Looking back, I could never feel fair. The way the music has touched my soul, the way that the sound holds its control. But I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back to the lands of the new. Oh, na 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 na. Seems to me that I have lost my friend. Got the sunset on the highway.
All right, what's going on, Astro peoples? What's happening? We are here again on another guest-filled Wednesday night. We try and do a lot of guests on Wednesday night, and hit a little bit of low because of Neef and all that kind of stuff. But we're back on the trail again with Alan Mitchell, who has been on the show a couple of times before, and we just haven't really, Alan's had a lot going on. I've had a lot going on, and we just haven't connected. But I said, it's time to come back. So
it is.
We love having you. You're got a great following on TikTok. You got a great following on YouTube, and it's great to have you back, man. It's really a pleasure to have you back.
It has been too long, and I'm glad to be back.
I mean, a lot of stuff's been going on. We got Dave tonight. For those of you that are missing Eric tonight and wondering where he is, everybody knows. I, of course, forgot that he had his daughter's graduation tonight, so he has the night off. So we got the fifth honeymooner, Dave Schaefer, with us tonight on the top right, and we're going to be here for the next, hour and 15, hour and 20, whatever it is, and hanging out with Alan, catching up. So, Alan, what you been up to? It's been like, 3-4 years.
It's been a while. Yeah. So the last time I think we were on the show together, I had left my observatory open one night to do an all-night imaging run, and a thunderstorm from Oklahoma decided to take the scenic route, and instead of going into Arkansas, it made a right-hand turn at OKC and went straight south and hit Dallas, which is where I live. And it rained on my equipment while it was running, and it blew out the board. It blew out the motherboard on my Paramount MIT, and basically turned my telescope into a $7,500 paperweight.
Yep.
So, yeah. And so a few days after that happened, we had already, Dan and I, we already had this planned. And so I had just repaired the mount. Software Bisque overnighted me a motherboard. And if you might be able to see my dog. He's fighting for my attention, so his little face might pop up here.
That's all right. I'll bring my Chihuahua up. It'll be all right.
Mine's right behind me.
There you go.
Yeah. So they had overnighted me a board. I had just gotten the board installed and everything, and I believe that night I was doing the polar alignment run, because you have to take everything apart to replace that board, so you have to repolar align. And so I did the live stream from the observatory, I think, that night. and was doing the polar alignment or getting ready to do the polar alignment that night. And that was it. And since then, I sold the observatory, kept all the equipment, but I sold the building. And then now the now ex-wife and I sold the house, and I moved about 20 miles southeast from where we used to live to literally. I bought a house that was 20 miles closer to the center line of the eclipse that we just had.
There you go.
In fact, I gave my real estate agent a map and I said, we need to buy a house in this strip as close to this line as possible. And
As close to this black line as you can.
Yeah. And I said, it has to have a backyard that's south facing, no trees, no swimming pool, privacy fence, 1 story, big windows in the back. And she's like, that's a weird set of criteria. I said, this is an eclipse path. I want to be in the path of the eclipse, and I want to set my telescope in. So I told her the whole plan. She's like, yeah, we're gonna make this happen. And so here I am. And then for the eclipse, I ended up having to go to Missouri anyway because the weather was not that great here.
Yeah, I mean, who would have guessed that? It's kind of like betting that, like, let's say, I don't know, the Mets are going to win the World Series this year. It's probably not going to happen. But who would have guessed that Maine would have been the best place to be to watch the eclipse in the United States? Who would have guessed that? That was like 1,000-to-1 shot. I mean,
I was actually getting everything set to go to Eagle Pass, Texas, because that's in the desert. Where are you going to have the driest cloud-free skies if not for the desert?
Yeah,
Maine's always cloudy, and Mother Nature pulled an Uno reversal on us.
Really, I mean, it was kind of crazy because thank God, I went to Franklin, Indiana, so it was a good 12-hour drive from Long Island, whatever it was. And I went there with I wasn't doing what I did the last time. Last time I was an idiot. And my first one in 2017, I said, all right, I'm gonna go with my 127 and a big scope and and I tested it because it fit the whole sun, so I'm fine with that and all this kind of stuff. Not thinking about I don't know, Corona, you might want some of that. And that kind of stuff. So I was able to get some Bailey's beads, and everyone's heard the story before. I was just a little bit out of focus. So I was, even though I was interviewed by 3 TV stations and I think 2 radio stations, because I had this big telescope in the middle of the entire eclipse, so everybody was coming. It was great. We went to Greenville, South Carolina, and it was a lot of fun. But this year I went with a Canon 6D Mark II and a 400mm lens with a pop-on solar filter, and that's it. That's all I did, and I just took some pictures, and that's it. But I don't know how much totality did you get in where you were actually?
So I in the front yard of a old coworker of mine. She had 3 minutes and 58 seconds of totality.
Okay.
And so we, I was live streaming on YouTube and on TikTok, but TikTok kept kicking me off my own live stream and then ultimately ended up banning me for 24 hours.
Why?
Which was because apparently I was not interactive. Because I just put my cell phone on my telescope and was just live streaming from the telescope.
Oh, bummer.
And so there wasn't a person there. There wasn't any of that interaction. My dog was going to jump up here. He got down to squeak on a toy, and I guess he changed his mind. Anyway, yeah. So I had 3 minutes and 58 seconds of totality in her front yard. I had my hydrogen alpha telescope that I was streaming to YouTube. I still have to process the time lapse, but I took a picture. Well, I took a 100-frame video every 12 seconds. So I got 5. When they're stacked, I'll have 5 photos per minute for the entirety of the. In fact, I started about 10 minutes before the eclipse began, ended it probably 15 or so minutes after the eclipse ended. And so I've already played it back in its rough form, and it's not perfect. I think I got some work I got to do to it, but it is a smooth animation. It looks really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and when it came time to doing my totality photo with my DSLR, which I got right here printed off,
Wow.
yeah, thank you. This one, and this isn't even the final version. The final version actually looks better than this. This is just a test print to make sure that it actually showed up on the paper the way I wanted,
Yep.
and it did not. But the actually, I think I have a. It's a smaller one because these ones are expensive.
Yeah, well, they give you like
What?
a free like 5x8 or something.
No, I don't get anything free from these guys.
Who do you use to
I
print?
use a company called Full Color. They're
Okay.
based out of South Dallas, Texas. So I
Okay.
could just drive down there and get them. But they gave me some suggestions, so I redid the print, but I put it on this metallic paper,
Oh, cool.
and so it looks a lot better, and the Corona shows up so much nicer.
Yeah.
But these are like $5 for an 8x8, and
wow.
this was $4, but it's not the metallic paper.
Right. Right.
So yeah. So for that photo, I used my DSLR with my 60x600 Sigma lens, and I had it set to 270 millimeter, I think, something like that. And the f-stop was f5.6.
Okay.
And then the software I used, it set all of the exposures at ISO for me.
Yeah.
And it took all of it bracketed all of my photos. But leading up to totality, I had Beta solar film on top of it.
Yep.
And then I got swept up in the moment of totality, and I was watching it, and I was crying and everything like that. My girlfriend was with me, and she was crying. And it was just this awesome thing. And we were having this whole thing, and then I look over at my camera to see how it's doing, and the damn filter's still on it. And we've already missed the first 2 minutes of totality. So I quick flicked it off my telescope, or not the telescope, the lens, and got the second half of the exposures I needed. But I missed the first part of the Bailey's beads.
Yep.
I didn't get all of the Corona data I was supposed to get, and I missed all of the Earthshine exposures. So in this photo, I do have Earthshine visible. It may or may not show up.
It kind of.
I don't think the
you
camera's
can barely see it though. I can't really make.
Yeah.
It out. Yeah.
So I took the supermoon from September of last year and just superimposed it.
Nice.
So, excuse me, my dog wants outside.
That's all right.
So yeah, that's what I was able to do with only half the 4 minutes of totality.
That's looks good to me, man. I mean, I was able to get, I think it was 4 minutes, 1.7 seconds in Franklin. So that's what I was able to get. Now, you know what? I'll be dead honest with you. I was more about when I started seeing that prominence that was there, and you could see it naked eye, and I could see it. I was like, oh my God, that's what and I got, I kind of had a thing though. When I backyard EOS, I think running the software and doing everything. And that seemed to work fine. And then I stopped that because it was kind of weird because it would set everything to bulb button at the last second. So I'm like, oh my God, everything's overexposed. What's going on? So I started taking my own photos and doing it as I could. I got some decent photos. It's not going to be perfect. I'm guessing I'm going to have to go to Egypt or Australia for Iceland. I think is one of the next ones. Greenland, Iceland.
Iceland's the next one.
Yeah.
So I was originally going to plan a trip to Spain for the next one.
Yeah. Yep.
But as I got to looking at it, if you're in the north of Spain, where you're going to have about a minute or so of totality, that's always cloudy up there. Yep. But there's a little island off the southeast coast in the Mediterranean that it's basically a desert island. And they're you can pretty much bet it'll be a clear day. Well, I looked at when the eclipse was going to happen on that island from the western shore, and the sun's 5 degrees above the horizon. I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Not going to work out.
No. Now, there will be some gorgeous photos that come out of that area with a setting sun during an eclipse over the water, right?
Yeah.
Those are going to be gorgeous. I don't want to be the guy that takes those photos. I'd rather be someplace where the sun's a little higher going through the eclipse. I want another crack at the corona with Earthshine. I like what I did, but I want Sebastian Boltner quality photos.
Nice.
And you're not going to get that with it 3 to 5 degrees above the horizon.
No,
so.
not even close. Yeah, it's going to be all fuzzed out. But you're right. It's going to be a nice time. No matter where you are, it's going to be beautiful. So, I mean, it's going to be great. So, what is that? Was that 2 years? Is it 26? I think
it's 2.5 years. It's 30. Well, it's a little less than 30 months. I think it's
like
October,
October, November, something like that.
August.
Oh, is it August? Okay, I thought it was. Oh, you know what? Little story about that. This is how dumb I could be. This is the brain fart. This is the brain fart part of the program. So I always mix up August and October for whatever reason. Okay, so. You know, I say, oh my God, you know, I got to call my dad. It's his birthday. It's October 17th. It's like, I got to call him. And, you know, I call him. I said, oh, Dad, I'm sorry. I almost missed your birthday. Happy birthday. He's like, you stupid little, it's August 17th. What are you doing? You call me like 2.5 months early. You know, like, what are you doing? So I ever since then, I've been, don't ask me why. They don't sound the same. It's just this like mental block that I have, that I mix up those 2 months for whatever reason. But anyway, but yeah. So what else have you been up to? I mean, you know, I know that you know, you had a moving, you had, you know, stuff going. I mean, a lot of new products since the last time that you've been on the show have kind of exploded as well since we've been here. I mean, what do you think about all this stuff? We got harmonic mounts, we got smart telescopes, we got now eyepieces that'll stack on the fly for you.
I know.
It's what do you think about all this stuff going on, all the revolutions happening?
I think we're a dying breed, you know. So you've got these telescopes like so you remember, you know, if anybody in the audience is a longtime follower of mine on YouTube, which I apologize to any of you, I have not been posting videos in a while. It's been a rough couple of years, and I'm in the middle of a house remodel. This house did not look like this when I bought it, and it's hard to make content when you're fixing up a home by yourself. Anyway, longtime viewers, and Daniel, you know this because you and I actually talked about this in the day with when the EV scope was still a Kickstarter project, and I basically said I think it's all hype because they're promising blah 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 blah, and they're going to charge like $4,000 for it, and you can build one with pre-pandemic equipment and pre-pandemic prices for around $550. Now, the equivalent thing would probably cost you closer to $1,200 today, but it's still cheaper than the EV scope is, and it would do the same thing. The only thing is you have to build it yourself, and you have to set it up and do the polar alignment itself, where the EV scope does all that stuff for you. And now we've got things that like the C Star, which is what, $500 or $600, and 500. And then there's the Veronis, which I think is another like $2,000 system.
Yeah. So there's two. There's three of them now. There's the from Stellina, from Veronis. There's the Stellina, the Vesper, and the Hestia now. The Hestia is kind of like this thing you stick your phone on it and it uses the camera of your phone kind of thing. It's kind of weird, but
yeah. And Galactic Hunter's got one of them. I can't remember which one they've got. I think they took that to do the eclipse, and I think they also have a C Star that they're demoing or we're using that I saw. So, but a lot of my TikTok friends, and you know, I don't mean like friends like, oh, we talk online, like we're real friends. Like 3 or 4 of them now have the C Star, and they love it. Yeah. And I've seen some of the photos of like the moon that they're able to produce, and then you can just point it at the sun, and it works on the sun.
I know.
It's a piece of equipment that you could do the moon or you could do the sun. I had to spend $10,000 for this. Hold on. I spent $10,000 to photograph the sun with this. Okay, and they've got a $500.
The Lunt.
They've got a $500 C Star, and they're taking pictures of the sun too.
Yep.
It's mind blowing.
Yeah, but you know, in all fairness, you know, I mean, the C Star will take decent pictures of sun, but then you're not going to get what you get out of that Lunt that you just showed. But, you know, yeah, it's $10,000 and 500. Don't get me wrong, you know, but it's like you gotta. full blown H alpha scope and everything, and you know, I don't know what size that was. What was that? An 80 maybe?
That's the 100 millimeter,
100?
and then it's in a single
100.
stack configuration. But I do have the double stack to go
Okay.
with it,
Yeah.
and the upgraded focuser. So like
Nice.
this is it's loaded. It's fully loaded for being 100 millimeter, and I picked that size because I could pair it with a ZWO 174
Okay.
or 432 mono, and it would give me almost a perfect full frame of the sun. So the
Nice.
sun would not be too small and you'd have all of this open space around it, or the sun would be too magnified and you'd have to take a mosaic of the sun. It's almost perfectly framed with those two cameras on that telescope. So
That's awesome. That 432 is nice, man, with those nice big pixels and everything. It's really, really, really nice.
what makes it great for the sun is the full well depth going to 100K.
Yep.
Versus I think it's only 17K on the 174.
Yep. Sounds right. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, and since the last time we spoke, AstroWorld actually opened up their retail shop, by the way. So
I saw that.
That's it. Some of the stuff behind me, but I mean, you know, we opened up that as well, and it's been we're getting some great response.
I almost emailed you and said, "Hey, you want to throw me a player one for the Eclipse as a demo?" But
you know,
but I went ahead. It's just stuck with the ZWO stuff.
Yeah. No, the player one stuff has been really you know, they're making splashes. So I mean, it's gonna be very, very cool. I can't wait for the next thing to come out. I'm not sure where they're going yet, but hopefully you know, they came out with the 585 before anybody else had it, really. The 432 with the 9 micron. The one thing that bugs me a little bit about Player One is that they're I guess they're advertising these like Apollo cameras, the 432s and everything as solar cameras, whereas they're very suitable for planetary as well. And you know, they really just say they're totally blowing the market out with the solar. I don't know if that was Eclipse based, you know, that kind
It's
of thing.
possible, yeah. They were feeding everybody for the Eclipse.
But if you look at the newer boxes, the newer boxes say now planetary and solar.
Well, okay, so that might have been a marketing decision because they knew people would be buying the camera for the Eclipse, and they
That's what I
wanted to
mean.
probably let them know that this is. But that camera, the 432, the reason why it's such a good solar camera, aside from having that full well capacity and the big pixels, is it's also got a high frame rate.
Huge, yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, so that's important when you're trying to do lucky imaging, and so you get the great dynamic range for the sun. The big pixels allow it to just soak up a ton of energy, even at high frame rates, and you won't blow out the details on the sun. And you can still capture it like 90 frames a second for a 4K sensor. 90 frames a second and this is uncompressed. This is raw data. A single image from a 432 is like 32 megabytes or 36 megabytes in size, and that's coming down the USB line. You know, it's a lot of data. When I was taking time lapses of the sun, a 2-hour time lapse of the sun, where I'm only doing 100 frame SCR, it's up almost a terabyte of data.
Yep,
like it's an unimaginable amount of data. So I filled up hard drives just in 2 days.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
that's why it's a good solar.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about which. You know, I got to think about. I may have a deal on an 8-inch edge that I'm thinking about getting, and a really good deal on it, and thinking about what kind of image train to kind of put on that, and doing maybe because I don't have a play. I got my QHY, I got my 268 and my 3 nanometer filters and all that kind of stuff. But there's really, even though I missed Galaxy season already, you know, for the most part, by the time I put it all together, Galaxy season will be pretty much kaput. But I'm thinking, you know, maybe just sit there and get like just like everybody else, the 578s or, you know, the 571s, sorry. and just do something like that, like either the 2600 slash 268 slash
26.
26, or even the Agma cameras, which are coming out pretty strong now, which are another company that's coming out that's based in it's China made but based in North Carolina, I think. So,
and then do you also sell any of the it's that Italian company. I just drew a blank on it. That's the one. Do you have any of their stuff too?
Oh yeah, he's got plenty of Prima Luce.
Okay. Oh, is that? I see an eagle back there now. Okay.
Yeah. He sold me my eagle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Nice.
am really good friends with the guys over at Prima Luce, and I sell a bunch of their stuff that like
Cool.
Yeah, so I definitely do all that. I got
that eagle is an amazing piece of equipment.
Yep. I got like 30 different dealerships now. It's pretty cool. So it's pretty wild.
Sweet.
So, yeah,
I'm proud of you, man.
Everything from astronomic to ZWO. I mean, that's really kind of what I got right now. There's some outliers. I still need I need like an ASCAR or something like that type of thing. So I need that. But I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's what I love to do, and I just love helping people. I just spent 3 hours on a guy's Eagle that crapped out, and it was a software issue, and I just literally walked him through it and troubleshot with him for like 3 hours, and we're like, "Hey, he's up and running. Go have fun." So
yeah, it's come a long way since I've come up with that system on a scope concept all those years ago, hasn't it?
Yeah, man, really. I'm telling you. Been a while, let's see. I know I keep on watching your video when you're collimated the what is it, the 6RC I think you had, or the 8RC?
8.
The 8RC, right? Yeah. So I'm sitting there like I think I actually texted you when I was doing mine. I said, "Does this look right?"
Oh,
And,
that's I've seen that video many times trying to collimate my 8RC.
Yep. I mean, that's a really well done video. And forget about, I mean, I still have the whole rig runner setup that that I still have it all with the L brackets, the whole thing. I like totally copied everything that you did, and that worked well for like I don't even know how many years. I mean, that worked great.
I just took mine apart. Like I had been running that this whole time, and I literally finally have my setup done in such a way that I no longer need it. But yeah, before we didn't have computers and stuff like that that were small enough, so we had these little Intel compute sticks that were the saddest, crappiest equipment, but it would work. You could do basic imaging on it.
Yep.
And you could have a couple of USB hubs or a USB hub with a couple of ports that you could run all of your games. It was just one power cable to the little computer up there, and that was it. Everything else just stayed on the telescope. And now you've got the Eagle, which is essentially everything that me and a couple of other people from different parts of the internet. I kind of pulled everything together and came up with this concept. But there was people doing this over here and somebody doing this over there, and I'm like, I'm going to do everything. And it was nasty because you had probably 15 pounds of USB cables tucked up inside underneath that top plate. But it was there. All your cable management was nicely tucked up away. And like I ended up having to make that a 5-part series because it was such a beast to put together. But then once you have it, it's like you're set and you're done. You don't have to do anything with it anymore. But now I use this little computer. I don't have it out here, but it's like the size of a Roku, and it's a Ryzen 7. It's got 32 gigs of memory in it, a terabyte hard drive, USB-C. It runs on 12 volts of electricity. And again, I just run a single USB cable up to my cameras, and then the ZWO cameras have the built-in USB hub, so I can go out to my focuser and my guide camera, and that's it. Just one USB cable is all I need. Everything runs off the same USB power.
That's awesome.
So
I mean, it's so different than what it was. I mean, even like 5 years ago. I mean, it's like it's amazing the amount of stuff that has kind of blown. Forget about what's a counterweight? What's a counterweight? We don't even need counterweights anymore. I got my Pegasus Nix or my Hem 44 or something like that. I leave the big monster EQ8R on a pier that's just sitting out there, and everything else is on harmonic mounts. I'm selling my EQ6R because I don't even need it anymore.
Yeah, I'm not going to go to a harmonic mount anytime soon because my Paramount is
Well, yeah,
it's everything. You know, um, but if Bisq were to come out with a harmonic drive, maybe I would. But the thing that I'm not 100% sure on, and I think I know the answer to it from some of the reading I've done, is the periodic error on harmonic drives pretty much gone? Because I think it is. I don't think they've got periodic error.
no, harmonic mounts have a
Harmonics,
huge
periodic error.
periodic error, like
But you-
300
Oh, it's
milliseconds.
huge?
It's huge.
You have a PhD under you use PhD.
It
under
gets
the-
guided out to nothing.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
got it out. Yeah.
there's nothing that stops you from doing imaging. I mean, my seahorse shot that I took up in Starfest in Canada, I got about 3 hours, whatever, hour and a half on it, and I no problems at all, zero. You know,
Nice.
I put my 130 on it, and no problem, and that's at what?
Yeah,
800 millimeters. So I mean,
right.
Yeah, what do you call it?
And-
PhD2 has an algorithm for their guiding. That's PEC algorithm. They use that PEC algorithm.
Yeah.
With the harmonic drive. It learns it and knows exactly when it's coming, and it guides it right out.
yep,
Sweet.
not
Yeah.
a problem.
So I've corrected. I bought the Pen Pro license,
Yep.
and I used Pen Pro to do the
Of the
PEC
graph.
on my Paramount. Yeah, and so I corrected my periodic error down to like 0.8 arc seconds peak to peak. So it's
Wow.
it's non-existent. My periodic error is sub-pixel, and I can also do a really good polar alignment. And I do drift aligning using PhD. Their drift align tool is amazing.
Yep, with the little
And so
lines
I'll
and
get
everything.
And so I'll get my mount down to like 1 or 2 arc seconds of polar alignment error, which is more than you would ever need for accuracy. And then I can do 30 to 40 minutes unguided
Wow.
with my refractors. I can't do it with the RC. With the RC, the best I can do is about 7 or 8 minutes. But if I use my Stellar View 102 and I throw my focal reducer on it to make it what would that be? About 530-ish millimeters of focal length. I've done 30 and 40 minutes, just single exposures, just to see if I could stars around.
That's
so
awesome.
Those Paramounts, they cost a lot of money for a reason. So if these harmonic drives are just as good but cost half as much, I think that they'll end up becoming the future.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, I mean, I'm happy with. I mean, I have my Pegasus Nix 101. That's good, 44 pounds without a counterweight, and that is now I take well, not with the 130. I don't do this, but with smaller scopes, I literally pack up the legs and put it all on my shoulder and walk in the house, and that's it, because I leave the scope on the top and I just pop it down and whatever. I would say it's so light I could do that. But you obviously don't do that with like a 9 1/4 on there or anything like that. You might break something. But again, the story of my life. Do what I say, not what I do, type stuff. But but I don't want to. Dan told me I could do it, and I just broke my red cat. No, I don't want to hear anything like that. But it is that easy. Literally, I unplugged the power cable. I unplugged that, and I take the eagle off, and I just carry it on my shoulder, and that's it. And that's good. It was such a wonderful
So then,
thing.
what's the weight of that mount with your tripod?
Well, the tripod weighs
Like, we just wanted to grab it and go.
I could actually, I can't because I just put it away. I could, and I'm a weak. I have no upper body strength at all. Okay, I could take the mount with the head on it and the tripod, and lift it with one hand and put it on my shoulder.
See, that's nice, because I'll throw my back out picking the Paramount up.
No, this is that light. This is that light. I mean, this is crazy. The AM3 and the AM5 are even lighter.
Yeah. On the Paramount website, they used to show a hand like this holding a Paramount
Yeah,
YT.
right.
I'd like to call BS.
Oh,
I'd like to
total.
call unless that was like Steven or Sylvester Stallone or Arnold
Yes.
Schwarzenegger doing
Freaking
it.
Lou,
Yeah.
it was Lou
No.
Ferrigno.
I can hold that. No
Yeah, Lou
problem.
Ferrigno.
Yeah, it was, you
No.
know, or maybe it was Tom Brady's Deflategate. You know, they made it like, you know,
Yeah, there's nothing inside.
There's nothing inside it. It's all paper mache. You know.
Yeah. No. And then my tripod is a Burlaback Planet, and that's solid ash wood and a
Yep.
lot of steel. And then I've got an adapter made by ADM. I've got the first one that he ever made for this, and I was actually his prototype guy. So we had like 2 or 3 revisions. But anyway, you throw all that extra steel from ADM on here, and they're aluminum plus the tripod alone is like 25 pounds.
Yeah.
And then it's a 30-pound mount. If I do the tripod and the mount together, I have to make sure the counterweight shaft is off.
Yep.
It's still like 55 pounds. And if you pick it up wrong, at our age, it's like, ooh, I'm gonna feel that tomorrow.
That's like the EQ6R, man. Same thing. That thing is a
my
beast.
EQ6R with the mount and the tripod.
Oh, there's
together,
no way
it's
I'm
probably
lifting that up
75
without
pounds.
pulling a 4 or 5 muscles.
It's,
I mean,
it's a good thing they put a handle on it. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Somebody knew what they were doing when they did that.
Yeah, they knew. But then you got Celestron that has it that you got to take it off to do anything. You got to take the handle off to use a. What was it? Did they put the pole master adapter underneath the handle, so you had to take the handle off to use the pole master? It was horrible. That's almost as good as the Celestron engineering, where they took the hand controller wire for the first generation of the 8SEs and put it all the way up and in, so you had to kind of get it in. God forbid that wire came out or got broke. Forget it. You were screwed because you were never getting it back in again. They finally put it down at the bottom, but sometimes they just don't ask the people that use these things what to do.
No, there's definitely a disconnect between the people who are designing it, and everything looks good on paper, and they make a mock-up or something like that, but it's static, right? And so they don't have any real world, like, you got to put a telescope on it, but you also got to balance it, you got to do all this stuff, and we want to use a pole master, and we got this accessory, we got that accessory, and what about all the cables? Like, they don't have our input. Like, we would look at something like that, we would just immediately know that's not going to work.
That's not
exactly.
a good idea. That's I work in the automotive industry, and I wish they'd contact us repair techs when they go to design cars, because I'd be like,
you and engineers hate each other.
Oh my God. If there's a special woodshed in heaven, then I'm going to meet a lot of engineers.
You wouldn't happen to work for Chrysler, which
Nope.
Some of the most awful engineers.
I work on everything, but Chrysler, the Germans, Europeans are the worst. I think I had a buddy of mine like, why would they do this? And my buddy would always go, that's what happens when you drink warm beer.
There you go. There you go.
I will say that my favorite car that I ever owned was a Porsche. And that thing never broke down. It was my favorite car. I was so sad when I had to sell it. But pandemic hit, wife got laid off, and there was my 100,000-mile Porsche or her 22,000-mile Jaguar, and we both had about the same car payment. Just get rid of the Porsche, and because that was the one that had the higher mileage. We aren't driving anywhere. We'll just keep the Jaguar because it's low miles and it's still under warranty, and whatever. And then we got divorced, and so now I'm driving a Cadillac. But I mean, it's an all right Cadillac.
Sure.
It's just not my Porsche anymore.
Yeah. Everyone has that one car that they just loved, and so sad when it's gone. It's just not good. Mine was a 1973 Plymouth Fury 3 that was rusted to the.
Oh yeah.
Who
cares?
Who
cares?
The door closed with the bungee cord. The trunk closed with the bungee cord. When you walked out of the car, when you got out of the car, you smelled like a gas station because there was no cat. So it was just all coming into the cab of the car, all the fumes and everything. It was great. But Nobody got in my way. Nobody
if you
got
took a
in my
right
way.
turn a little too hard.
Oh man, the thing was huge. It was 4,000 pounds.
Mhm.
It was the size of a small school bus, and it was a 2-door.
What motor?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember, man. That
Did
was
it have
like
a V8? Was it a V8?
it was a V8. It was a V8.
Okay.
That I remember. But you know,
Probably
but
like a big old 383.
Plymouth
big
Fury.
block.
It was a Plymouth Fury 3, 1973. It had, I think it only had about 30,000 miles on it when I got it in 1990. And
God.
it was by this old, but she let it sit in this driveway. So the outside looked like hell. The inside was perfect. And it was just like, she really beat the hell out of it. But it was a fun car to drive. But
yeah,
probably not as fun as a Porsche.
No, that Porsche was a lot of fun. I used to take that up to Missouri. So I would drive into Arkansas on 30, hit Little Rock, and then I'd go north on Little Rock. And as you go north on Little Rock, you start hitting, I think, the Ozark Mountains or whatever it is there in northern Arkansas and South Missouri. And so there's just a bunch of these little windy, hilly roads. And that's what Porsches were designed to drive on, like the Swiss Alps and the French Alps and the Italian mountains, and all of those windy European roads. They're balanced and tuned for that type of driving. Oh, it was so fun. It was just, you could just, as you're just sitting there driving around and taking these turns and stuff like that, you could just tell that the car was getting into its element. It's like I hated driving that car in Dallas because it was just so boring. It's just a straight shot, and you take it through the winding hills of northwest Arkansas, and that car just becomes a completely different beast to drive.
Oh, you want to make it a really completely different beast? Bring it to the South Bronx.
I don't know the suspension.
Oh, it'll be gone. You're gonna leave that on the Van Wyck Expressway, man.
All your underbelly covers.
Oh, it's gonna be a big mess. Oh, that's good. That is like those are the worst streets to drive. I've driven all the way. I've driven a lot of places between here and Nebraska. I mean, literally, like I've driven to Nebraska. I've driven to Texas. I've driven up and down the East Coast. I've driven to Chicago. I've driven all over. I just haven't gone as far. Where did I go? Wisconsin, Wyoming. Did this whole thing. Devil's Canyon, the whole thing. And the worst streets I ever been on is in the Bronx, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah. So Tom in the chat just brought up driving on the tail of the dragon. I got a story about that. I haven't driven it, but a couple of jobs ago, I was working at this law firm in Dallas in their IT department, and one of our lead developers was this young kid. I was about 30 years old at the time. He was like just turned 22. But he just got his first really high paying job out of college, and he's making 6 figures, and he felt like he was hot shit. So he went and he special ordered a BMW M4 when they first came out.
Nice.
He got serial number 2 released in America.
Wow.
And he picked it up in Maryland, at the port in Maryland when it came over from Germany. And he took it down the tail of the dragon.
Where that boat just took out the bridge?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he brought it down the tail of the dragon. Like he had planned, I'm going to drive this car down the tail of the dragon. Well, there happened to be a guy, I think it was from Auto Weekly or something magazine, not photographing for anything in particular, but he was just photographing cars driving down because you never know when you're going to get a lucky shot that you might be able to sell to a magazine, right? Basically just doing middle of nowhere paparazzi stuff. And my buddy comes driving down this road, and the guy flags him down because he sees this is a BMW, but he's never seen one before. And so he wanted to talk to him, like, what kind of car is this? Because he's never seen anything that looks like it. And it's a brand new M4. And so he's like, I want to photograph you taking your car down the tail of the dragon. So he does a U-turn and he goes back up the hill and he's coming back down. And they go and they do photo shoot all up and down the tail of the dragon that day. And one of the photos he took was of him going down this turn, and the back driver tire was about that far up off the ground. He had 3 on the ground, and he was taking that turn so hard the chassis was twisting. Back tire came up about a good 3 or 4 inches up off the ground.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think that ended up going into a magazine somewhere.
I'm sure that's awesome though. That's a cool story, and
dude, it was sick. You showed me the photos, and I was like, that so serendipitous that an actual automotive photographer who does this for a living photographed the second ever sold in the United States BMW M4 on the tail of a dragon, driven by a kid who was too young to understand how to drive safely, and was literally just reckless driving down the tail of the dragon. He got some of the most epic shots out of it because he was young and stupid and very lucky.
Well,
I had a buddy of mine who he got one of the first R8s sold here in America when they first came out. It was unbelievable. That car was so nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
But and listen, back to Astro here. So you know, what are you up to as far as are you doing anything with photography? I know you did the eclipse, but what have you done since the eclipse? Anything going on?
Oh,
what are you imaging with?
I haven't done any. Yeah, so these days I just image with whatever feels right. It's either the RC8, which I don't use that much, or it's my stellar view. I've been last summer and this summer I think is going to be the year of the sun because we're at solar maximum, and so I've been trying to get sunspots and solar flares. I did get a time lapse of that what was it, a 6.3 back in March.
Yeah,
that we had. I got a time lapse of that solar flare. This last sunspot group that moved across the sun that was giving us all the light show. It was cloudy and rainy here. It's been cloudy and rainy here this whole month, so I haven't seen the sun in a while. Yeah, and it's severe weather season in Texas, so I just know as soon as I set my stuff up, my house is going to get hit by an F4 tornado and just take
the horns are going to be
so I just keep it in the case right now. And once we get, I think June is when I'll consider possibly setting it back up because the weather seems to settle down in June, and we'll have the long days, so it'll be prime time for just letting it track the sun all day.
Yep.
And just do more solar photography. But I've been loving doing solar photography. HA photography is just insane during solar. When you have intense periods of solar activity, because every day the face of the sun is different. In fact, it can be different between morning and afternoon. I've noticed it can change that fast. Sunspots can change shape. You can watch them evolve over time. I've got video of solar plasma being lifted up off the face of the sun and being shot into space. Those are the things that I've been working on a lot lately. I've done a few moon photos just because I could, but I haven't done any deep sky. I just got 3nm filters last year to use with my 1600. So now I've got the right light pollution filters because I moved deeper into Dallas. So I used to live up by one of the northern suburbs called McKinney, Texas. And it was still like a Bortle 8, but if I were to image to the east or to the north, there was a lot less light pollution because I was on the edge of the city. And now I've moved deeper into the Metroplex. So I'm basically, it's white everywhere. And so I don't have a dark area of the sky that I could use 7nm filters and have decent results. I need the 3nm, but I haven't really done any deep sky because the ground shifts. Where I used to live when I had the observatory, that house was built on bedrock. Nothing moved. It was stable. It was sturdy. I could drop my telescope in the yard, and my polar limit would hold for like 6 months. Here, my polar limit can change from day to day because the ground literally heaves and moves based on moisture content because we have expandable clay in our soil. So if we have rainfall, the soil swells. And then if we have high temperatures and low humidity, it'll evaporate and it contracts. And as it does that, the tripod legs shift. And it's measurable. In fact, I've got a shower door right now that doesn't close because we've had so much rain. It has lifted that corner of the house up, and now the door doesn't shut.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
But in a month, it'll be a drought, and that corner of the house will settle back down, and the door will shut. Fine. And then this winter time, I won't be able to keep it shut because it will have sunk even more, and then that door will be it'll be too pulled apart. So the telescope goes through that as well. So I've just been dealing with things that don't require super precise polar alignment. I still do it, but I don't do multi-night projects that require super precise polar alignment. So basically, deep sky's out the window. I do want to start doing more deep sky, or not deep sky, dark sky trips where I might take like 2 or 3 nights on a new moon weekend and just go to a campsite 6 hours to the west and just get out into central Texas where it's reasonably dark. And then just set everything up and then like do one target for 2 nights, you know, from sundown to sunrise, just follow it across the sky and just hit it all night long.
Yeah.
But I haven't done that yet because again with the house remodel, that's been occupying most of my time. And then it's just me. Like I have to finance all of this on a single income now. And so planning trips is difficult. Although
Sure.
I do have enough vacation packed up and enough money that I'm gonna be able to save. I've booked a trip to Europe, and I'm gonna meet all of our European, or not just European, but most of our English Astro buddies, like Stacey Downton.
Yep.
I'll be hopefully spending an afternoon with her and her new wife.
Yep.
Some people here might be on Facebook and they might know people like Andy Waddington.
Yep. Sure.
He's in a couple of different groups. Yeah. I'm gonna go meet up with him. I've actually met him already at a star party. I helped fly him to America back in 2019 for a star party. We hung out, and then he came here for the eclipse, but we didn't get a chance to actually hang out because we went to 2 different places. But I'm gonna go hang out with him, and then I met a bunch of friends off TikTok that are scattered all over
Cool.
the UK, and so I'm gonna go do a tour of the UK and just hang out with them, and basically just couch surf, just sleep on somebody's couch, a different person's couch every night.
There you go.
There you go.
You gotta go. You gotta go knock on. Go a little north into Scotland. You can hang out with Katie Hughes and Helena. You know. So.
Oh yeah, I haven't talked to Helena in it's probably since way before the pandemic. But I hear she just graduated or not graduated. Finished her first year of first year of university.
Yeah,
so good job to her.
She was actually supposed to be on the show last year, but she got so boggled down with she's really into her schooling, which is really cool. So she was like, I'm not doing anything, I'm just doing my thing, and that's it. And you know, when I'm done, I'll give you a call, you know, pretty much kind of thing. But she always wanted to be on.
Absolutely should.
You know, she will. Because every once in a while, Katie Hughes has been on the show. She unfortunately lost her husband a couple of months back, and she's getting a little bit of a TikTok following now. But she just bought like 100 Esprit and a couple other things that she's been showing on that. And great lady, she's been on the show, and she lives right down the block from Helena. So I mean. Like, yeah, just go knock on her door and yell at her. You know,
there are a lot of people over in UK that are pretty cool. You got Glenn, you got Astro Biscuit. Who's that guy? That guy's funny as hell.
Yeah, Astro Biscuit. Yeah,
he is hilarious.
Well, you got
and
Luke.
Then you got
Luke.
You got Luke Amatico, and then Nick Smith and Ian Knight from Altair Astro.
Sure. Yeah. A lot of people over there. There's a lot. It's a lot
of people over there.
It's a big
Gives
market
me hope
for
if
Astro.
they can deal with their dreary skies all the time. There's, you know, I can deal with
it's gotta be horrible over there, man. It's gotta be horrible.
Well, I mean, and their food's not that good either. I mean, like you can't win for losing.
I don't know.
Especially now that it's getting close to summertime, where they literally don't have a dark night, you know. Once it's past a certain time of the year, there is no pure darkness.
Nope. You know, and then you got to wake up to bangers and mash and haggis. so you know, that's not something that I'm a fan of. You know, I'm happy with my Dunkin' Donuts and crappy coffee. You know, so
there's a reason there's so many pubs over there.
Yeah, I cannot wait to wake up in somebody's house and like, here, I made you a traditional English breakfast, and you just look at it, it's just a piece of toast with some baked beans on it. It's like, what the hell?
What is this? What is this?
Where are your keys? I'm gonna go to the market. I'm gonna show you how we do this in the country in Nebraska, where I grew up.
There you go.
You ever heard of biscuits and gravy with sausage?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
All over the place. There you go. Rock and roll, man. Get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and get your biscuits and gravy, man. Your grits.
No turning back. No turning back once you've had that.
Nope. I lived in Savannah for 2 years, and that was an interesting time. Not living, but going to Nebraska for the Nebraska Star Party last year was a great time, and kind of like what you're going to plan on doing in the UK. I kind of did in Canada when I was up there in Starfest. I bounced back and forth between Ron Breacher's house and Sean Nielsen's house, so I kept on bouncing back and forth between there. We had a great time though. It was a lot of fun. Played some music, did Starfest during the day and Image from their backyard at night, and it was a lot of fun. So
yeah. I went to the Eldorado Star Party in October, and I met up with Deep Sky Dude
nice.
and Planet Observatory.
Yep.
So I meet up with Deep Sky Dude every year that I go out to one of these star parties. He does like 3 or 4 star parties a year. He does like Okie Tex. He does Eldorado Star Party. I think he did Cherry Springs one year. Like he bounces around. He does quite a few of these. I think he did Winter Star Party one year too. Yep. But whenever I get a chance to meet up with him at Eldorado Star Party, I do, and we always hang out. We have a huge fun time. But our buddy Charlie Golden, who does, he's got his YouTube channel is Planet Observatory. He came up from his part of Texas. Both of them are down on the Gulf Coast, and we just hung out. And like the first 3 nights, it was just cloudy, so we sat on our little. We had like three spots right next to each other where our tents were, and we basically just sat out there every night and just drank White Claws, and it just cussed at the clouds.
Nice.
It was great. It was great. I don't think I got polar aligned until Wednesday night, and then the eclipse was Saturday morning. So I spent all night Wednesday night getting dialed in because I wanted to be able to track the sun the whole night. And it was so windy that I had to redo my polar alignment every night because I've got a scope cover. And so the wind would blow and it would literally sink a different leg every night because the wind would blow from a different direction, but it would sink a leg of my tripod in just enough that it would throw my polar alignment off. And so I polar aligned painstakingly Friday night. And then we had 50-mile-an-hour gusts that morning. And it almost imploded my tent. It blew in clouds from the south that we weren't supposed to have. Everything was covered in dust. And my polar alignment was off, so the sun kept drifting and drifting and drifting. And if any of you guys were watching my live stream during the eclipse, right as we hit angularity, my telescope slewed away from the sun all on its own. And I was trying to get that perfect, because I was on the center. Well, I was 3 miles away from the center line, but it was close enough that at my pixel scale, you couldn't tell. And you would be able to, it would look like it was a perfectly concentric annular solar eclipse.
The ring of fire.
And so I had 90 And so I had 90 seconds to tell my telescope, stop screwing around and get it back on the sun. and I got it. It's you can see it on my YouTube live stream replay. It slews right back to the sun right at maximum eclipse. It was just gorgeous. And then I did a capture and I missed it by like 2 seconds. And so my maximum eclipse photo is slightly offset, but it is what it is. I got a cool story to tell about it now.
Absolutely.
But everybody watched my telescope just move on its own, and there were gasps all around. And Deep Sky Dude was like, "I thought you were going to grab your telescope and throw it into the street." And I said, "I almost did."
We've all had those nights where the astronomy gods just hate us. And it's so bad sometimes. There are things that I was talking to somebody the other day. I was like, there are some days where, you'll go 3 days in a row where everything works perfectly, and then the next day you do nothing different, and everything craps to bed. Nothing works. Something doesn't happen. Things aren't doing. Guidings through the stars are messed up. Something's going on. And then the next day, everything's fine again. It's the weirdest thing sometimes.
Yep, that's why I don't use the Prima Luce Eagle. Okay.
Oh shoot! no. Hey, listen. Everybody knows.
Ever since I started using the Eagle, I have had no issues with anything not connecting or anything like that. So
they are solid computers. I just had to give you a hard time.
No, of course. Everybody does. Everybody says, "What are you spending $1,600 on a computer my streaming went out. Hold on a second. There we go. We're back.
I didn't do it.
Nope. It was
I didn't
weird.
do it.
They want to know if it's. They want to know if it's a dark frame. They want to know if it's a dark frame time.
We're demonstrating dark frames.
so I don't know what happened. That's Melon kind of messing things up, guys. I hope you didn't miss anything. I just had you missed it. I just got nominated for a Nobel Prize. So you missed the whole thing. It's over. It's gone. So, but it's one of those things. Yeah, that wasn't funny. But
so I bought the Alto and the Giotto, which is the flat frame with the motor on it and everything, and it would hook up and everything was fine. Next thing you know, I couldn't get it connect. So I get on the phone with Dan. How long were we on the phone? At least an hour and a half.
At least an hour, yeah, maybe 2. Yeah.
Trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Because you don't think it's a brand new cable, right?
Cable,
it's right out of the box.
He's like, you know what? Let's just try a new cable. I was like, all right, I probably have a different cable. Put a different cable on. Work fine.
No problems.
Gotta be kidding me. So now, anytime anything goes wrong, let me grab another cable.
Yep.
Yeah. So you're a technician for cars, and I'm used to be a technician for computers, and Dan is quickly becoming one. And it's always step number 1 is reboot.
Yep.
Step number 2, replace your cables.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if none of those work, then then you're gonna have to actually do your job.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Start looking at software. Start looking at all that kind of stuff. It's but when you have something that's brand new out of the box, you don't really think cable. You think everything's but.
Yeah.
Oh no. I always suspect cable first.
I never. Well, not if it's brand new. For me,
but I've learned my lesson.
Yeah,
car parts. Like
now I will always
aftermarket
check the
car
cable
parts.
first after that disaster. But it's.
I've learned my lesson on aftermarket car parts. You put aftermarket certain car parts. I don't ever buy aftermarket because I've got burned. Where you put a new aftermarket one on, doesn't work.
Yep.
Doesn't work.
Yep.
Get an OE part, works every time.
Yeah, Dave Barnett always is a fan of the ID10T cable. That that's definitely what we had that day going on. So if you don't know what the ID10T cable is and you're in astronomy, you just need to write it down. You'll figure it out. So
yeah.
Yeah, and the ASI Air, the Eagle, the Melee, all these types of things that are out now that kind of, really do make things a lot easier. Some are more advanced than others, some cost more than others. But in the bottom line, when you're thinking the regular progression of things now these days is kind of like ASI Air. So I'm but now you get stuck with ZWO. So, all right, I don't want to do ZWO. So I get a Melee, and then I get this type of, and then maybe I get a laptop. Maybe I do something else and move on from there, or maybe I do a StellarMate after that, StellarMate Pro or something like that. And then finally you're saying, okay, you know what? After you buy all the stuff that you have already that you could get in the Eagle, you already spent the amount for the Eagle already. So I mean, it's kind of like one of those things.
What's nice is the way it's gotten to the point to where all you have to do is wait till it's dark, get everything up and running, and go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Wake up the next morning.
Hit play on Nina.
Done. It's done. All your files are in the right location. Obviously the first thing I do is I wake up, I look out the back window and go, okay, everything's dry. Nothing
it's
crashed.
Dry.
It's dry.
It's dry.
Yeah.
It's dry. Yes. I don't see any clouds at the port.
I look right at my car windshield and I say, okay, I'm all right.
Yeah, still around here though, I've gotten up. I mean, the amount of dew on it, everything is just amazing.
Yeah, dew's one thing. That's something that we all have to deal with. You literally could take your hand and like slick the entire tube off. That's one of the things that we deal with. But I mean, when you're dealing with all of a sudden, like what Alan dealt with a couple years back, where you get a deluge that just kind of comes by, and that's why I got something on my phone called Rain Alarm, and I also have I have a weather station on my roof that if it's anything over like a tenth of an inch of rain, it sends this really annoying beep to my ear, and it's right next to my bed. So it wakes me up, and I run downstairs and I bring in a telescope and I put it, whatever. That's happened more than one, like 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning. I'm dead to the world, and beep, 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 and then oh shoot, run downstairs, and that's it. But it's cool having
I'm sure that's what you say.
What I say I can't say on live YouTube. So I mean I probably could, but let's see.
Yeah, I don't care. I say it all. I say it all on my lives, and
Yeah, I know.
I just try to be authentic.
Yeah, I try to be too, and there are a couple of times where I have gotten, I guess, lambasted for dropping the F-bomb or saying things that I shouldn't have said, or I've said some pretty stupid things over the past 5 years, and I'll take credit for all of them. but
Yeah.
it's what, I try and be authentic too, but it's just to the point where we do want to kind of we don't want to. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Fuck it. but
I'll drink to that.
Yeah, it's you know what? There's one thing about this whole thing that we do, and we all three of us do it. We love doing this kind of things. Just the camaraderie of being out there with star parties or non-star parties, visiting people in the UK, visiting people in Canada, that kind of stuff. The community is so awesome and always very helpful that it's very, very, and you know what? It's very rare to kind of find that kind of thing in a niche kind of community. Usually in my experience, I see a lot of cutthroat actions, not in the Astro community, but in other ones. I'm not going to tell you, that's my secret, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't get that. Maybe 1% of the people out there will not tell you everything, but most people will try and help you.
The people who used to gatekeep in the Astro community, they're quite literally a dying breed.
Yep.
There used to be, we would call them the old timers, but like, let's face it, we have become the old timers now. But the people who were our old timers when we were getting into this, the people who were doing it on film back in the day, because digital photography didn't exist yet for astrophotography. Once they moved into the digital version of it, they were the ones who pioneered it. They gatekept a lot of that. And so when I was starting out 14 years ago, I only had like 2 resources online that I could go to, and you had to piece it together yourself because nobody would help you connect the dots. We had Cloudy Nights, and I forget the other place. And then I ended up running a blog for a number of years called East of Jupiter, until one year I went to go renew the web domain, and they wanted, so I paid like $5 for it when I bought it the first year. They said, okay, well, if you want to renew it, it'd be $500 now. And I was like, why? And they said, well, because you're popular. And I'm like, I have 30 people who come to my page a month. That's not, but anyway, yeah. So I let that domain expire, and I haven't really done a blog since. I've tried a couple of different times, and it's just, yeah. But there's so much more information out there now. There's so many tutorials. There are literally hundreds of YouTubers out there creating content. Yep. We've got this talk show now where you can just bring in anybody. It used to just be the Astro Imaging channel, and now you got 3 or 4. AstroWorld TV, my personal favorite.
Thank you.
The AIC, and you guys bring in your experts every week. You guys talk to people, you get different perspectives, and you have people just dropping little nuggets of information out there. And we, as content creators who are creating this body of knowledge out there for the hobby, we're approachable. You can send us a comment on a video. If we've got email listed, we want you to email us. Yep. Some people have websites that they set up where they can have discussions and all of this stuff happen on their own webpage, so they can bring their own little community together of problem solvers for newbies that come together. I was doing that on TikTok with content creation. I've kind of shifted a little bit more into live streaming on TikTok now. And I just shit post when I do my daily videos now, and I just post about whatever.
Yep.
But for live streaming, I'm either cooking food because I love to cook, particularly on my grill, or I'm talking Astro with my other buddies, and we basically hold these impromptu, like what you got right now, and we'll bring on like 3 or 4 people, and we'll all point our telescopes at stuff, or I'll walk somebody through. I helped one of our friends 2 nights ago rebuild the focuser of her Celestron Newtonian telescope on her couch because it wasn't working right. And so the deep sky dude and we walked her right through it on a live stream right there. And anybody could
That's
just tune in
cool.
and watch and watch a biopsy of a telescope focuser. And we got it working just like that, and just the ability to have somebody say, I have this problem and I don't know how to solve it. And I could just be flipping through and they're like struggling with something, like, I know that telescope. Like I know what's going on here. And I can just start commenting and they're like, I have the ability to go live as a guest. If you want me to come on, I'll walk you through it. And boom, I've done it with 2 other people so far. So we're out there. We want to help. We're a totally different breed than the people who pioneered this hobby 30 years ago.
Yeah, it was like the cook with the secret sauce, right? You didn't want to tell anybody anything, back then. You just really, and it was tougher even to find a resource to help somebody, back then. Like you were saying, there was really, I mean, the only other one, and I'm gonna mess it up. I want to say it's Ron Wiesner's LX 200 page, or Rod Wiesner, Mike Wiesner's LX 200 page, because I was a Mead user, and that was the only option that I had, and I believe the page is still there. He has not updated it in years. I don't even, to be honest with you, I don't even know if he's still alive, but it was that long ago. But I mean, that was the only thing that was there, and even when you went to back then, so that was probably like the early 90s or something. Even back then, you're sitting there, you're trying to help somebody. And I started with the Pentax K1000, and the Minolta Maxim, all film cameras. And I'm sitting there and I'm trying to do this stuff on my own, and forget about trying to polar align on a wedge, a Mead LX200 when it's your first thing. I mean, you got your head cracked underneath, and all these things going on. And there's nobody wants to help you. Even you could be right next to another LX200 person, and they're seeing you struggle, and they're going, and that's what they're doing. And you can hear it, and you can't see it because it's dark, but you hear the snickering, and you hear it, and you're like, come on, help a brother out, will you? But it's now it's a different type of time, and I think a lot of the newer technology and the amount of things that have changed over the past 15, 20 years has made it more impertinent to actually be an agent of help and change and teaching than it was way back when everything was kind of like the status quo. Everybody had like an Ultimate 8 or an LX200, and that was it. It was like Apple and Mac, and that was kind of Apple and Windows. So Apple and Mac, but you know what I'm saying?
It's the same thing.
Yeah, I know. But it's how can you hear it over the loud Mead slewing motors? It was that loud, Dave. It was that loud. You could hear it. They wanted you to hear the snickers.
They weren't snickering, they were cackling, but it sounded like a snicker after it was drowned out by the LX200s.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was. You're probably right, Alan. You're probably right. But it was definitely definitely a learning experience. And that's probably the reason why I'm a refractor guy now, because of the trials and tribulations of the SCT back in the 90s.
I actually saw a video of a guy on Facebook. He posted video saying, he finally got his LX200 mouth fixed and everything. And he started slewing it. I was like, oh my God, listen to that. Oh my God. So loud.
Oh yeah. It was torture. It was torture.
It just got the noise upgrade installed on my LX200.
Nice.
The gears are 50% louder.
I'm telling you. And Mead's slowly but trying to make a comeback through a second life with Orion, and we'll see how that works out. But yeah.
Well, I've got a Mead 80mm triplet. It's a damn good telescope. So
yeah, the
it's probably one of the best, one of the last of the best ones they built.
The higher end was at the 4,000.
Mine was a Series 6,000.
6,000. All right. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Those were nice. I know.
No, those 6,000. Yeah, those 6,000s were great.
Yep.
Yeah, and that 80mm, that's just a perfect size.
Yep. I now I got, what do I got? I got my 130. I got my, and then I go down to like the FRA 400, then a Red Cat, then camera lenses. So I mean, that's kind of where I think I'm gonna sell my Red Cat. I don't even use it anymore, to be honest with you.
I want a Black Cat.
You want a Black Cat? You could have a Chihuahua.
Yeah, it's no. I don't have a problem with small dogs. I got 2 dachshunds myself, but I just don't want something that shakes that much. Okay.
And the eyes that are bulging at you, it looks like they're gonna pop out that skull. But my Chihuahua is the meanest mother ever. I mean, he is such a Napoleon. He's got this Napoleon complex. Every night he kicks my 14-pound dog off the bed. Every night.
Oh.
Dog disappears, and the 14-pound doesn't have a mean bone in her body, so she'll just walk away and go under the bed.
Okay, fine, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, my boys, they've got a king size purple mattress that they sleep on every night, and they're nice enough to let me have a tiny piece of it.
Yeah, right. I know
the kings. I have a purple bed, actually. I love my purple bed. I think it's great.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
You know what? And my dogs love it too.
You know what the worst thing about that purple bed was?
The price.
The cost.
Besides the cost, after you get past how much it was. If you decide to get a purple bed, please remember to read the instructions on the purple bed. Make sure that you open this thing up while it's on the box spring, please.
Oh,
yes. Oh my God. I opened this thing up and all of a sudden it goes, and it's like a big thing going, and I'm like, I'm doing it by myself. My wife's at work, and I'm trying to get this thing. All of a sudden, how does this thing weigh so much? I don't understand how much this thing weighs a ton. And it took me about an hour and a half to get it on the box spring, so it would fit. It was horrible.
I had a king size Tempur-Pedic. Man, that mattress weighed a ton.
Yeah,
that's the only mattress that weighs more than a purple. Because I've had both. In fact, I got rid of the king size Tempur-Pedic because it was I broke my back twice, and so that ruined my back way worse. The doctor recommended get a Tempur-Pedic. The memory foam's going to be good for your back. It ruined me. And so I tried Casper. I wasn't a fan of Casper. Ex-wife loved it. We got rid of that. And then I was seeing those viral, hilarious purple commercials. I'm like, let's just give this a try. And it was the best night's sleep I had as an adult.
Nice.
And my ex-wife was the same way. But yeah, we got the queen size to start with of the purple mattress and then upgraded to a king later. But we made that mistake with the queen. We set everything up. And then the purple it came all rolled up like a big ass carpet. Yep. And I just grabbed the box cutter and I grabbed the plastic and I right down and opened it up and it just kind of went swap. And then it began to inflate. And I'm like, this is so cool. And then I went to go pick it up and it was like trying to lift. It was like trying to lift a 300-pound sack of flour. It's just like dead weight. It's just not going to do anything. And I look at my ex-wife and I said, I think we screwed up. And she goes, good luck. And she leaves.
You're on your own.
She's like, we did not. You did. Bye. And
That's horrible.
But yeah, I mean, the queen the queen wasn't too bad. I think the queen only weighed like maybe 85 pounds. It was 85 pounds of dead weight, and I was able to get it up on the bed. But I learned my lesson when we got the king size.
Oh yeah,
and
put it right
put
in
it
the
up
middle.
I put it up.
Open it up, and then open it.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
And so, but my bed is so I don't have a bed frame yet, because when I left and moved here, I walked away from everything. So I took the dogs, I took my PC, and I took my telescopes and my clothes. That was it. No other furniture, no nothing. And so I had to buy a new bed, and then I bought a second bed, because I started with the queen size, and I'm like, no, I want a king. So the queen's out of my guest room. King's what I sleep on, and it's nice. But yeah, I don't have a bed frame because I haven't renovated my master bedroom yet, and so I don't want to get furniture and then have it get damaged during the construction process, and then I've got damaged furniture. So that's that whole thing. But once I have my bedroom done, get a whole new bedroom set, and I'm gonna finally get it up. But now I'm gonna have to deal with I have to lift an inflated
You're gonna have to lift that
king size purple mattress up onto a bed frame. So I don't think I'm gonna get a tall bed frame. I think I'm gonna get something that's only like couch height.
Yep. Yep. Just so you could slide it kind of up there in some sort of way,
Right.
It was really a nightmare. I've been doing that. It's horrible. It was horrible. But awesome. So what do you do? Well, first of all, I gotta do this. He's in the chat, so I gotta go. Hello, Newman.
Hello. Newman.
But Norm Hughes is in there, so it's a thing. But well, what do you think? What do you think? What's next? We spoke about harmonic mounts. We spoke about smart scopes. What do you think is the next best thing? Maybe.
So I don't know where we go from the all-in-ones, right? We've got these grab and go systems like the Honest has got a couple of models. Stellar View, they've got the EV scope. Oh, excuse me, I've been awake since 5.
I hear you. Me too.
We've got the EV scope, and I think they just released like a version. They've got like their third version or something that's out there. You've got these the little ones. I forget what they're called. Sky Seeker or whatever it is. Sea Star.
Sea Star.
You got this.
Oh yeah.
You got the dwarf.
The dwarf, and so the one thing that all of these have in common is they're alt-as systems, right? And I don't know that we're ever going to get a true equatorial system that's going to be grab and go. But I mean, can you imagine if you had a small EQ platform that had an altitude azimuth base that it could polar align itself?
Yep.
And then you're polar aligned. And it's an EQ mount, so it can offset the Earth's rotation. Then you can do real, true long exposure astrophotography without having to have a derotation algorithm. And these items are already auto stacking the images as they come in. So we have basically an all-in-one astrophotography platform. Where do you go from there?
Yeah, I'm surprised.
What's left?
I don't know.
I'm surprised some of these mount companies haven't come out with an automated polar alignment feature on their alt-as adjustments.
Yeah.
For you would think it's got to be possible.
It is possible. I have seen somebody build one with a Raspberry Pi and a couple of DC motors.
Yeah.
And it would drive the altitude, or not the altitude. It will drive the azimuth bolts to adjust your. I think he had it on a C-Gem, and then he had another motor with a screw that it would rotate, and it would adjust the altitude as well. And so you had the ability to motorize the adjustment knobs for polar alignment, and he fed everything into a Raspberry Pi. So he would take a picture of a couple of points in the sky, and it would say, oh, your polar alignment is off by this, which is this many arc minutes in RA and this many arc minutes in azimuth. And it would fix it. And then it would do it again, and it would iterate. And he taught it how to polar align his own mount. I forget who the gentleman was. He had a project, I think, on instructables on how to build all the hardware. And I don't know if there was like a GitHub or SourceForge or whatever it was for the software side of it, but somebody did it, and it was a hobbyist who did it in his living room. There was no reason why Celestron or Mead or Orion or whoever's making these mounts can't do it. I mean, they're lazy.
Yep.
I'm just gonna say it. They're lazy. They put all this engineering into making these nice shiny mounts that have like no periodic error, and that in itself is an engineering marvel. But harmonic mounts, while we're wooing over those have been part of automotive robotic assembly lines
long time
for 50 years.
Yeah.
This is not revolutionary technology. They took an old technology and they just gave it they gave it a new use. They just repurposed something that already exists. Right. Nobody in the mount who makes mounts, they have not innovated the mounts at all. And this is one of my biggest criticisms with the electronically assisted astrophotography when it was coming out a couple of years ago was they package all this stuff up and they make it look really nice, and then they charge a 600% multiplier on what it would cost to build it yourself. And all they did is just take everything, put it together for you, and make it look pretty. But there's some software algorithms in there that are kind of novel, but none of the hardware is revolutionary. All of the stuff already existed. It was already off the shelf. They just came up with a new packaging for it and then applied a little bit of custom software to it. So where do we go from here? Because they've automated the acquisition. They're already doing stacking and some sort of like auto stretching and post processing and contrast adjustments on the fly. So that part's done. The only things that I could think of would be, for those of us who are still doing the manual things, would be revolutions in programs like Nina, where maybe the user interface is going to become a lot simpler. Like they'll figure out how to simplify some of these workflows that we use. The user interface may not be so clunky. Like you configure everything inside of a one screen, but then when you want to connect all of your hardware, you just hit a play button and it automatically connects it. You don't have to go menu by menu by menu to say connect the mount, connect the guide camera, connect the main camera, connect the focuser, connect the filter wheel, connect to my weather sensing application through the API. Go ahead and connect to the auto guiding program and stuff like that. Just give me one button. Let me configure everything, and then just give me one button. PhD kind of does that already. You set up your mount, you set up your camera, and then you just hit the connect everything button. Boom.
I think
Nina
does
Nina,
too.
I think you still have to go through everything.
No, Nina does have a
Nina
connector.
Has a connector plug-in.
Okay.
You can
now they do. You used to have to go into equipment, power button, this power button, this power button, this power. Now they have a power button for connect all, where you, as long as you have everything configured correctly, that you'll get, all of a sudden you'll get a line of green notifications saying focuser connected, telescope connected, guider connected, all this kind of stuff. And then you'll get the red X's to say, "Oh, you're on the wrong COM port," or something like that. Something's got to get you.
But usually, it'll see what you have connected, and what you have already laid out in your configuration, and it'll connect everything you have automatically.
But I think
that's how long.
At the end of the night, you can disconnect it all. So at the end of the night, after the mount's parked, everything's done, it'll disconnect everything as well.
Yeah. So that's how far out of touch I am with doing Deep Sky. How long it's been since I've done it is because the last time I used Nina, you had to go, focuser first, and you had to do everything in a certain order. And if you tried to do one thing before you did the other, sometimes it would wig out on you. Like, you can't do that.
But listen, I think you're right, though. I think that the next set of advances is most likely going to be in the software area, because all these things that are open source now, like Nina is an open source thing. Pix Insight allows third-party plugins. All these things are happening, and the next big thing is going to come out of the developer, like the Astro community. That's going to be, okay, well, what if we do this, this, and this? And it's going to be like, okay, well, you know, what I would love is find a way to get past water vapor in the sky. You know, maybe there's a telescope that's going to come out around nice pre-cloud, no cloud scope.
It
you know,
it already exists, Dan. I'm surprised you didn't know this.
oh,
Prima Luce sells it.
they do. They do.
Yeah,
They
I think
do.
it was called the Spider.
It is the
It's
Spider.
a radio telescope.
And it's about $350,000. Yeah. You know,
But yeah, no, radio astronomy is immune to the water vapor in the clouds. So like if you want to image it daytime, nighttime clouds, radio's the way to go.
No problem. As a matter of fact, I had a radio telescope we just had astronomy day on Long Island, and a guy who's a ham radio operator who I know very well, does a lot it literally carries this ring around with the antenna and all this kind of stuff, puts it on a traffic cone with a piece of PCV pipe, and we were listening to the sun all day. We were watching solar flares happening and sunspots go, and we were like seeing the oscillations and the depth of everything of the. I couldn't even explain it, but it was so cool that you're able to see that type of action, even though you can't see it. See it. It was pretty cool.
Pretty wild.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Cool stuff. What else we got?
Yeah, I think it's going to be all software driven because I can't envision a novel new hardware that we haven't already seen somewhere else that we could apply, because like the harmonic drives, that's going to be the game changer that we're going to be talking about for the next 10 years. I think every mount manufacturer will have their own harmonic drive. You know, Astrophysics is going to, you know, I predict, I don't know any of this for sure, but I'm predicting that within a few years' time, Astrophysics will have their harmonic mount. Software BIS will eventually have their harmonic mount. I mean, it was just like 5 or 6 years ago they got away from equatorials and they came up with the Taurus, which is an altitude azimuth mount. So, you know, they saw the need for having an even more gargantuan observatory class mount. Maybe they'll start going small for a change. You know, the Paramount MIT was their small mount and it's big.
Yeah.
Maybe they decide to actually go with the grab and go market. Yeah. And actually have something you can hold like this without breaking your wrist off.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the big appeal of the harmonics, is that they're so easy to travel with. You can take them, you know, where.
And that's one of the things.
The really good old school mounts, they're so bulky and heavy. You should travel with them. It's so hard.
One other thing that we really haven't seen is a fully integrated refractor and imager all in one.
Yeah.
Right? Because that would maybe be a logical progression. Is you would just buy you know, like an 80 millimeter refractor. It could be a singlet or a doublet if you're going to be doing monochrome, or you get a triplet if you want to do one shot color. But it's already got the digital focuser already built into it. So imagine something like the Nightcrawler from Moonlight, right? But it's got an imager in it as well. And it's just all in one. You just right on your mount.
Yep.
And that would be, again, things that we've already seen, but somebody just packaged it up, polished it up, and made it look nice. Maybe applied a little bit of custom software so that everything plays well together. But now you've got your true grab and go scope. You don't have to worry about, where did I put this? I don't have the right adapter. I can't get the back focus because I misplaced my spacers. It's just all there.
Yeah, one plug.
Exactly. One plug. You just plug it in and everything's already wired up to go. Unless we have wireless power somehow, and then, you know, just Bluetooth the power right into it.
There you go. That's gonna be a lot of fun. And listen, we're already on USB-less stuff. I mean, you know, you look at ASCOM Alpaca, you know, that's out. You know, all these, you know, driverless kind of USB-less kind of things. It's pretty darn cool. And then you got, you know, the Prima Luce with their ghost mode, and ASCOM Alpaca, where a lot of now, you know, Pegasus is on board. A lot of mounts are getting on board. Mount makers are getting on board with it. And I remember having Bob Denny on the show, you know, about 3 years ago, and he's been like, this has been like his brainchild. Him and a couple other guys have built up as Canal Park over the last couple of years, and it's just now over the past like year that it's actually starting to gain ground, and people are starting to see that it's not as scary as oh my god, I'm gonna run these things without USB cables, you know. So I mean, it's definitely you know, it's becoming more of a proven technology at this point. So it's looking to be good.
Yeah, and that might actually end up becoming something that we may eventually see. I don't know how it would work, but with Bluetooth like 4.0,
Yep.
it's possible maybe because we can already send high fidelity audio with it. I don't know if you can do imagery. I've never seen a Bluetooth video receiver. I don't know if the bandwidth exists for it yet. But what if we ended up having Bluetooth cameras that you just Bluetooth the data from your camera to your laptop in real time, and now you don't even need a USB, and it just beams it right to it.
Nice.
You know, and it's short range, so you could still have a bunch of these people at a star party, and it won't necessarily cause too much interference because Bluetooth has and you can, I believe, set the power level or the decibel level of that Bluetooth device. So while Bluetooth may have a maximum range of like 5 meters, you can tell your device 1 meter, but you'd have to have your computer like your your camera would be right next to like it would have to be on top of it like the Eagle, or in my case I've got my my little SoC PC. I Velcro it to the underside of my tripod, but it's never more than a meter away from the camera. But I mean, theoretically, maybe some Bluetooth going full Wi-Fi with batteries. You know, the battery in your cell phone could power one of those cameras for a couple of hours.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey,
so I mean, it may not get you all night, but you know, with battery technology advancing the way it is, if we get these solid state batteries they keep promising, we might get all night with a single charge. So that might be new. That would be revolutionary, I would think. Something we have not seen someplace else being applied to our technologies.
The other elephant in the room is I can't read it. We can go wireless with data. Why not power? Yeah. So you know, maybe that might happen eventually. Who knows?
Well, we do have wireless power, but it's through induction, and the crappy thing about it is.
Oh my God, is that Eric?
No, not Eric.
The strength of the wireless power falls off with the inverse square. So
you have to be right.
If you have to be right up to it, and if your camera slews away from your power source, it's going to see a voltage drop or an amperage drop or something. It's going to lose that power. So you would have to have, you know, really strong induction happening for that to work. And then you've got, I don't know, maybe concerns with people who have a pacemaker walking too close to it. I don't know how that would work.
Exactly.
Eric jumped on.
Somebody with braces.
Eric's all dressed up from his daughter's graduation party, I guess.
Hi. How's it going?
What's happening?
Eric, you brought the horses back after the barn door is closed now, so I mean you're fine.
What do you mean? Eric,
it's 9 minutes before the end of the show when you show up.
Yeah, you know what? I'm fashionably late. That's what I call it. I'm fashionably late.
Fashionably late is 5 minutes, not 5 minutes before the party's over.
You wait until it's here. Hey, everybody.
Yeah, yeah, so we've been talking all about, you know, all the new stuff that came out, catching up with Alan here. It's been a great time. Yeah, please smash that like button if you haven't smashed it yet. Eric, we're gonna put Eric solo next time as punishment. Eric doesn't care about being alone. He'll do it all night. He doesn't care. That's not punishment. He probably likes it better. I'm not bothering him.
No, I just wanted to pop in and say hi to everybody. Just hang out.
No, absolutely.
It's good to see you again.
Yeah, you too, guys. It's awesome to hang out and just say, hey, yep, graduation's over, graduation dinner's over, so that's a little bit of normalcy.
Nice. So, this is normal.
Well, for me, for Wednesdays and Fridays, yeah,
okay.
this is kind of
my
normal. So yeah.
Awesome. So, I mean, what's up next for you there, Alan? Anything up next for you regarding, next things on TikTok? Any new TikTok previews that you got going on, or?
No, nothing that I have planned. Everything that I do. So once I got onto TikTok, I was really all about like, I'm going to drop these little nuggets of information about how to do astrophotography and explain the ins and outs of the hobby. And then as I learned how the algorithm works, I learned that is absolutely never going to work on TikTok, because TikTok is all about the immediacy. When you do something on TikTok, TikTok wants to show everybody who's available to see it right then and there. And then within 5 minutes, you're already old news, right? TikTok is not a search engine. YouTube is, Google is, that's why we have websites. That's why we have YouTube, is to be able to search for a body of knowledge to do stuff like that. So that's why I've kind of shifted more towards just doing live events on TikTok. And so what's next for me as far as astrophotography on TikTok is more solar live streaming once I get out of severe weather season. Because as we had explained earlier, I'm going to set up tonight. I'm not actually, it's cloudy, but let's just pretend I was foolish enough I'm going to set up tonight so I can polar align tomorrow night. We'll have a tornado in the middle of the night and it'll wipe my entire neighborhood out. So that's just my luck. I've already proved it once with a thunderstorm raining on my observatory that one night. I'm not going to do that crap again. So I wait for severe weather season to pass. Usually happens at the end of May, early June. And then we hit what I like to call hell's oven. And then it's going to be that until October, where it'll be almost straight 95 to 105 degree weather every single day. George Letch knows all about this in chat. He will confirm that we're about to hit triple digit heat any week now. And we're going to just stay there. But that's the time that you just put your telescope outside and do your best to like dress it up like a patio umbrella when you're not using it. So people just drive by and think, oh, that's an ugly umbrella, and keep going. But yeah, solar lives will be what I'm doing mainly. I've done quite a few live streams of the sun here on YouTube as well. And I like doing them on YouTube because I can control the video quality. And it's a lot of fun to stream the sun for 3 hours to just 4 people on YouTube. But I wish I had a different 4 people every time, I like all of my friends that do come to my stream. My channel here on YouTube has all but died ever since, my life got turned upside down back in 2019 and 2020. It's been hard to make new content, and I'm pretty sure I've been forgotten on YouTube, and that's fine. I didn't expect anybody to wait around this long for me, and so many other people have come along and done some great things, and I moved on too. I'm on TikTok now, and so I've got my core audience over there and all my friends over there. And so when I do a live stream of the sun on TikTok, I don't have 4 people watching. I have 7 people watching, and I feel like a superstar.
Hey, but I mean, you got over, I want to say I saw 22,000 people following you on TikTok or something.
Last I look, it's around 20,000. I don't know, maybe it's 22 now. I don't pay too close attention to the numbers over there. I don't follow it that closely because what do they say on Whose Line Is It Anyway? The points don't matter.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Hey, well, people are following you, people liking you. I like watching your little tidbits on there that you throw on there, and I find, and part of the, I know that it's a tough subject, but what you were going through back in a couple years back, and I was actually following you through, because you actually put it all out there, and I thought that was very, very authentic, and like you said, you're just you, and I think that's part of the allure of your videos. So I mean, keep on doing what you're doing, man. You fought through it. I think you're in a better place now, and just like more good luck to you, my friend, because it's gonna, it's just gonna get better for you.
It's already better. It's harder, but it's better. Like if that could make sense. Like just because it's better doesn't mean it's necessarily easier. But my mental health is a lot better. My outlook on life is much more improved. I'm in my own place now. It's not, it's far from perfect, but it's mine.
Yeah.
And I get to do my own thing. It's a lot slower than it used to be because when you guys who have been married for a while know having two income streams does make it a little less stressful to go out and do something here or buy this or whatever. Like I have to budget months in advance now for something. I bought the 432 for the Eclipse in October, but I started budgeting for that in February of last year just to be able to buy, what was it, like a $700 ZWO camera.
Yep.
You got to be able to put $100 away for several months before you can purchase it. But when you got two income streams like I used to have, you could just be like, hey honey, want to get a new camera, what's our savings look like? Oh, we got this. Perfect.
No problem.
Purchase.
I'll get it tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But because the bills are the same, but I lost half the income.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So
it was like my country club membership that went bye.
Mm-hmm. My Porsche went bye.
Yep.
Yeah.
Trading
in Porsche for a Cadillac.
All right. Little Billy Joel for you.
Yeah. There you go.
Hey,
it's a nice car. I just hate it.
I had a Cadillac. I don't know what year it was, but it was a Cadillac Eldorado, right? It's big boat,
Nice.
Another big boat, just like 2-door, huge thing, right? And so it was a friend of mine's car. I bought it from him, and it was used, whatever. It was one of my first cars. I guess it was 20, 21, whatever how old I was. And I'm buying it. And I didn't know this at the time, but I'm driving, and you could see this car down the road because it is a wide car. I mean, it's me coming down the block. So and my buddy Ryan goes, yo, it's a Rado. It's Rado, man. It's so for about actually until this day, 35 years later. And that's why my email is HRado13, Higgins Rado13. Everyone, now I'm being called Rado, but for all my friends that known me for that time, still call me Rado to this day. And
that's funny.
Yeah.
You didn't ever get your foot caught in that door, did you?
No, thank God. No.
Good thing.
No. No, that's although I almost killed my brother with the door once, but that's okay. But
anyway, 71 Chevy Impala is 2-door.
Another big boat. Yep, another big boat.
Those doors, you did not want to get your foot caught in that door.
Nope. But hey, listen, Alan, I know you've been up, and I know it's getting up 10 o'clock already. We're getting close to time, but we at the end of the show we kind of like to do final thoughts on what we do, and so basically we just do a little round robin, and since Eric was late, he'll go last. So Dave, you could go first.
Al, it's great meeting you finally. I've watched your videos on YouTube. In fact, I refer back to it every time I have to collimate my RC. So I appreciate you putting that out there.
How did I do that?
Very, very good information, and I'm glad you came out and joined us tonight. It was good to see you. And hopefully you'll be able to get back into deep sky before you know it. Share some pictures with us.
Yeah, I can't wait.
All right, Eric, what do you got?
Nothing. Just Alan, it's good to see you again. It's been a while, but good things are always ahead of everybody. So just keep doing what you're doing, man, and it's all good. And besides that, image of the week. No, it's a little late, but it will be up tonight. And so by tomorrow morning, get out there, vote. So just be a little bit late, but go vote. We're going to have some really good entries. And other than that, we'll, see you guys probably Friday and, clear skies.
And this Friday is also picture of the month too, right? For April.
Yeah, it is. Yep, for April we announced picture of the month. Yep.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
Don't forget, if you haven't voted yet, if you haven't told your friends out there to get out and vote, go vote. It is now. We have a new web page, so it's AstroWorldWeb.com/IOTM for image of the month.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was like, why did you do that? No, now I remember. Yeah, we got 2 web pages now for that.
So
right?
Now we have 2 web pages. It makes it a little bit easier for people to vote and stuff like that.
Yeah, they don't skip the image of the month at the bottom now. They got to go to
exactly. So it makes it a little bit easier for everybody.
Very, very cool.
Yeah. So also, I'm going to probably miss Friday because I'll be up in Sean's neck of the woods in Toronto this weekend. So.
Yep. Well, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Yeah. Golfing? You golfing?
I'm not golfing. Just going to check out the falls and head over to Toronto and do the Hockey Hall of Fame. And some
you're going to have a lot of fun. I did that last year. It's a lot of fun. So you get see all those Islanders up there and all those people.
I just got to make sure they have the spot ready for Ovechkin when he gets there.
Yeah, but I don't even think I saw a capital on the wall at all. Maybe 1 or 2.
Scott Stevens has got to be up.
Yeah,
there.
But Scott Stevens is a devil.
He was a capital first.
He's up there as a devil.
Well, it's because that was the team he retired with.
Yeah, number 2, man. Come on. Anyway, moving on. Alan, what do you got? Final thoughts on any thoughts tonight before we close it out?
Yeah, I think something that needs to be said, because we kind of like danced around the issue of, we've talked about it a lot actually on the pre-show, but always in this hobby, it can kind of seem to come out of nowhere. It was like mental health and depression issues, because we spend a lot of time at night and also with cloudy weather stressing about that kind of stuff. So just always always advocate for yourself. If you need to step away from the hobby like I did for a couple of years and just get your head on straight and take care of yourself, don't ever feel bad about taking a break. You've got fans that'll be there for you if you're putting out any astrophotography and you've got a little bit of a following on Facebook or Instagram. You don't owe them an explanation if you don't feel like it. If you want to, like Daniel saw, I was putting out videos explaining my mental health years ago, but I made that friends only. I didn't want to broadcast that out to the whole world because I wasn't out there trying to get attention for what was going on, but I wanted my friends to know I'm going through some stuff. And if you want to reach out, by all means, go ahead, because I'm open to that stuff. And so always advocate for yourself. If you're not doing good, don't feel like you have to force yourself to do anything. And it should also go without saying, but in that same vein, it's not cringy to be your own biggest fan. Don't get caught up on trying to produce the perfect photo. Cheer yourself on every single day. And when you can complete an image, even if it may not be completely perfect, don't beat yourself up over it. Call it your greatest work of art that you've ever done. And most importantly, just have fun. That's what this is. This is a hobby. This isn't a job. We're not out there trying to beat people for money on this. Yeah, you might be able to make some money selling to your friends, but this is supposed to be like golf. This is supposed to be like cricket. This is supposed to be like whatever else you do for fun. This is an outlet for stress.
Yep.
So make sure it's fun. And when it stops being fun, take a break.
Yep. Yeah, and that's a good point. I didn't even know if you wanted to bring that up. That's why I kind of strayed away from it, because I know we did speak about it at length before the show started. But yeah, it's very, very relative to what we do. And you're exactly right. It's very easy to slip into some sort of like a mad depression, because you're right. It does, you were talking about the science behind it before, about the serotonin levels and all that kind of stuff that happens because we're up all night, but we're day creatures, so it kind of screws around with us a little bit. And it could become a big issue for some people. So, I mean, but be aware of it. And like Alan said, if you're feeling down, find an outlet for that and talk to somebody, talk to anybody, and just be aware of it. And then, if you got to take a step back, like Alan said, take a step back, take a look inward, and just know that there is a lot better stuff out there. And, there's always tomorrow, so, but that's a really good point, Alan. Thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate that, because it's a topic that really isn't spoken about, but a lot of people suffer from. And even especially in these the night dwellers that we are, it seems to hit us, like you said, a little bit more so than the I guess the normie day people, that are out there. So just be aware of it, and if you know a friend, just reach out.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good point. So awesome. All right. So my final thought is it's 10:05 and it's time for bed. So thank you, Alan, again for coming on. And if you're so inclined this year, I'm going to throw out an invite to you to be on this year's Astropalooza, which is coming in December. If you're interested in coming on, I'm starting to build up you don't have to answer now. This is not an answer. This is not an answer. So if you want to be on it, it's like a half an hour or 40 minutes on a Saturday in December. And we just sit there for about 10, 12 hours and talk about astrophotography because we're nuts. And, so this will be the third Astropalooza. We've had guests from Adam Block, Dr. Sass, Charlie Bracken, all the Masters of Pix Insight, Nico Carver, Molly Wakeling, Amy Astro. We've had a lot of people. So if you want to come on, you just let me know, and you got a standing invite to come on and hang out for a little bit with us.
Absolutely. Right now, I think I'm definitely 100% on board with that.
Awesome. Last year we had Trevor and Dylan on. That was pretty funny. Dylan is so far not letting me off the hook here on the PowerPoint that I sent him because I sent him he sent me a PowerPoint. Now actually I said, don't worry about Dylan. I know you don't have the time. Just tell me what pictures you want and I'll put the PowerPoint together for you and you can show them on the screen. And he's like, okay, no problem. So I send up pictures. There's some stuff, Byron's Bay and all that kind of stuff, where he's from. And he sends you the pictures. And then he says, I didn't know what, and I'm not going to screw up his, I'm not even going to try his accent. He's like, I didn't know what to make of it. But Dan sent me an email the day before the show that said Dylan's PP. And I didn't know what to make of that. So I was afraid to open it. And then I realized it said Dylan's PowerPoint, and it was all okay. So
yeah, me and Dylan had some fun with that one.
He was so freaking funny, man.
It was a lot of fun.
He is hilarious.
Yeah,
he is.
And Trevor was on too. It was a lot of fun.
The two funniest people in astrophotography are Dylan O'Donnell and Astro Biscuit.
Yep.
Oh my
God,
absolutely. Those guys are hysterical.
Absolutely.
Could you imagine putting those two in a room together?
I would lose my mind. But it's like the one video that I make it a point to watch this video at least twice a year, and it's Dylan's 500 rule explained. And if you haven't seen it, go look at it. It's about 1 minute and 8 seconds, if I'm not correct, and you will lose your mind for like 1 minute. So just watch it. It's Dylan's 500 rule, and you'll love it. But it's a lot of fun. But anyway, Alan, again, thank you so much. Go check out Alan's TikTok at I_spaced_out. And check him out. He's got a lot of good stuff on there, and support him as he's supporting us tonight. And I'm sure, we'll see you soon. So, but again, Alan, thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with us for the last 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I know you swore I could probably do a quick kind of thing, but we kind of had a lot of good time catching up with you. And it's always a blast having you on the show. So
yeah, thanks for joining us.
Well, I wanted to do the whole 2 hours, but like I was explaining to you before the show a little bit in the email is I was expecting a phone call that I just haven't received yet. Oh. I don't know when I'm going to get the phone call. I just knew it was supposed to happen tonight. It usually happens after 7 o'clock. So
okay, and what is it? Is it 9 o'clock there or 8 o'clock?
It's now 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Yeah, 1 hour. Okay.
Yeah. So the phone call might still happen. I don't know, but it hasn't happened yet. But when I get it, I have to take it.
Watch it ring as soon as we get off. So I have a phone blocker on your phone right now.
Oh, is that why? No, that's what I've been looking at. Like,
what do you mean? What do you mean? I got no bars?
Maybe whoever's supposed to call you is watching the show, and they're just waiting politely.
They're being nice. They're fans of the show that are actually watching.
Yeah, there you go.
I was counting on you to get me out of this. Ring, damn it!
It's like the bad date phone call. You're like call me in 25 minutes, and I'll let you know if I'm okay or not.
SOS, call me now.
You're like this. What are you doing on the table? Oh no, I just dropped something. It's okay. Oh my God, Alan, it's always a blast, man. And whenever you want to come back on, you have a standing invite. Whenever you want to come and hang out, man. So it's always a pleasure. We got to do this more often. It's got to be more often than 3 years or so. It's definitely
we'll definitely shoot for like every 30 months.
There you go. That's fine. 2.5 years. All right, that's fine. But every once in a while, look at Alan's videos. Every once in a while, you might see a very unknown show in the background on TV somewhere called AstroWorld TV. You might see that on a TV little plug in the background.
Yeah, I told you I did that on purpose.
I know you did.
That one TikTok video. Yeah.
That was good. I was like, oh, there it is. But awesome, Alan. Hey, listen, again, thanks a lot, man. And we'll set some up maybe by towards the end of the year, and we'll start talking about Astropalooza if you're cool with that.
Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck on that.
All right.
Image of the week. It's up. Go vote.
It's up.
It's up. Awesome. Go vote. I'm that good.
Go vote. Go vote. That's why he wasn't saying nothing. That's why it was all quiet for like 3 minutes.
I'm locked in.
All right, so go vote, everybody. Everybody, again, thanks, Alan, and we'll talk to you later. Everybody, don't forget Friday night is the beginner's night, and again, 8:00. We'll be back on Friday, and I believe the regular cast of characters will be there. Will be Eric and David. You're not going to be there though, right? Friday.
No.
You're going to be in Toronto. So have a safe trip, my friend. And everybody have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your week. And remember, as always, to keep imaging, keep educating, and clear skies. And we'll see you Friday night. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks again, Alan.
See ya.
Take care, everybody.
You're welcome.